Alright, I'm going for another dive. I'm leaving poor little Clarice behind. I'm going on an adventure of my own. So I'm leaving the nice comfort of the warm fire for the cold depths of the ocean. Yeah, gonna go try and stock up my grandpa's fridge and freezer with a little bit of fish, maybe, if we randomly get lucky with a nice little trumpeter, or some abs, hopefully, and maybe even a crayfish. This is the last day here, so this is my last chance. They seem to be way harder to grab than the crays I'm used to grabbing, so it's a bit of a challenge. But we'll get out there, have a bit of fun in the kelp and see how we go. So as soon as I jumped in the water, I was greeted by that crystal clear, nice, cold Tassie water. There was plenty of life around and the kelp sounded like it was full of crays. I ended up spotting my first cray and managed to grab him. Unfortunately, he was a little bit small, but it was just a sign for things to come. This ended up being the best dive I've ever had in Tassie. When you measure a cray and find out that it's undersized, the best thing to do is to just look after it and pop it straight back in the crack where you found it, because otherwise on its way down to it, it can get eaten by little sharks and all its predators. After that, I was just seeing a couple of small abalone like these ones here, and then kept seeing little crayfish, but nothing of good size. Until finally I looked over this ledge and saw the thick horns of a cray which I thought might be legal. I've found that if you drop down on a vertical angle rather than crawling up horizontally, the crayfish has much less chance of seeing you and you get a better chance at actually grabbing it. Just as I'd secured this one, I actually noticed the antenna of another pretty decent crayfish on the other side of the rock, so I switched hands and quickly tried to grab that one too. I couldn't believe my eyes when I had a pair of lovely looking crays sitting there in my hand. I had to jam one under my arm just so I could measure the other one.
Let's see. Yep. That's easy. Yes. Okay.
I left the audio on this because it's a little bit embarrassing, but it's also pretty funny. I was obviously stoked to finally measure a legal cray. After putting so much effort in, it's just such a great reward, finally being able to bring one home. After a fair bit of a battle, I finally managed to get this cray into the bag, and then it was time to measure the second one.
You look good. Yep. 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 Yeah. Oh my God.
Two crayfish is the legal limit, and plenty for me anyway, so I went down and knocked off my 5 abalone in about 2 dives, which is pretty cool as well. After that I had to look around for a couple of trumpeter, because I've heard you can sometimes get them in this spot and they're really tasty. My grandpa especially loves those and the crays. So yeah, I had a bit of luck, but unfortunately the camera angle was terrible. You can't see the fish as I shoot them, but I left it anyway because it was pretty cool to actually dive in some different kind of grounds, like hunting grass beds. I've never done any of that up north, so I just left it in there and you can see the fish after I get them. After shooting that last fish, I realised the bridle on the gun was broken, so that meant it was time to call it a day. But it had been a bloody epic session. Well, that was freaking awesome. That was the best dive I've ever had in Tasmania, and I'm bloody stoked. Got in just as the sun's about to go down, got my 5 nice abs, got 2 lovely legal sized crayfish in one dive, and plugged a couple of trumpeter to feed my grandpa, so I'm over the moon. Now I'm going to quickly rush home, call Clarice, ask if she can chuck on some nice warm soup for me, go put the fish away. I'll clean it later because we're coming back down and take my cousin's little dinghy out to try and have a bit of a flick for some squid. Pretty optimistic, hoping there's massive bits of wood light, but alright, well first of all you gotta light the match. Oh my goodness.
That's embarrassing footage.
It is a bit embarrassing, this footage.
Let me do it.
Amazing. We've taken out the meat, the feet from the shells, and now we're beating them with some rocks to tenderize them, make them nice and tasty.
Brutal.
About to have a quick shower to wash off all the slime from prepping those abs and trumpeter. Glad the bag limit's only 5 for abalone, because that was an absolute mission. I forgot how hectic it is trying to shuck them and beat them with a rock, especially if you haven't done it for a while. How's this shower set up? That's why I brought the camera. Pull this bad boy out, fill it up with water. Let's see. And there we have it. Pretty cool, eh? Left-hand side. So here we got a bit of abalone, fish, which I've already smashed like half of because I was too hungry, corn, garlic, mushies, and potatoes. That's it for part 3, but keep your eyes out for part 4, where I get taken out to do a bit of diving, get a couple of trumpeter, my first scallops ever, which was awesome and delicious, and my biggest southern rock lobster. So yeah, see you in part 4. Cheers for watching.